Hi folks, my name is Tim Houston and I am the author of the 3 #1 Amazon bestsellers, The World's Worst Networker, Leads to Referrals, and my brand new ebook, The Referral Rules. And today I'd like to talk to you about, briefly, a fantastic book that I've had the privilege of reading, and it's called Adversaries into Allies by the one and only, the incomparable Mr. Bob Burg. You know, as a small business owner for the last almost 20 years now, I have read many books about psychology, negotiation, conflict resolution, influence, marketing, sales, you name it. And there were always 2 books that I would always come back to that are considered classics in several of these fields. The first one being Getting to Yes by Fisher and Ury. The second one is Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion, or now known as the Science of Persuasion, by Dr. Cialdini. And I would always keep coming back to these 2 books, and I love the stuff that these authors teach. And then I discovered Adversaries into Allies that Bob wrote. And I consider these 3 books to be the trifecta of conflict resolution, negotiating, influence, whatever you want to call it, because what Bob has done into Adversaries into Allies comes from his years worth of experience that he has had both as a speaker and as a trainer and someone who has been involved in sales for many years, and as well as from the books The Go-Giver, Go-Giver Sell More, and of course Endless Referrals. And I consider this to be perhaps his best work to date and most serving work to date, because you know, as business people, we get so full of our ego so many times because we're so wrapped up in our business that a lot of times when we have conflicts, whether it's with clients or customers or colleagues of ours or employees, we kind of lose it. And sometimes it puts us into a frenzy. So, you know, even if we're negotiating a new deal, sometimes it gets the best of us. How could we really persuade other people to see our side, to come to our side, and to really, as he says, win without giving in and without manipulation or being coercive towards the other person? Well, what Bob has done is he has laid this all out in Adversaries into Allies, and he's done a fantastic book. You know, there are so many other books and programs out there. Some are good and some are just full of hyperbole. And this one really gets to the heart of the matter, makes it very easy for the reader to understand. You don't need a PhD. If you're looking for something long and complicated, you're not going to find it in this book. You are going to find some very sound methodologies in this book. There are 3 chapters that I really, really like, and you know, this is a book not to skim. It's really, you should read this cover to cover. The first chapter that really impressed me was chapter 38, Win by Making the Other's Case First. And as someone who's spent a good deal of time in the legal profession, as well as being a high school and college debater, I totally appreciate what Bob has written here. The second one is chapter 49, where it talks about tact does not equal compromise. And he lays out a fantastic case in only 1 page that says that being tactful does not mean that we are open to compromise or we're compromising a position just for the other person's sake. And the last one I think is a must read for any small business owner. It's called Collecting Money Owed to You in a Winning Way. And having dealt with issues of trying to collect money and hiring collection agents. It's a non-combative way. It's a fantastic way that makes them feel good and at the same time helping you to get paid. This is a fantastic book. You could read this book in, you know, cover to cover in about a day or so if you're a speed reader. I suggest that you read this over time. Space it out. Really take notes in the book. Listen to what he has to say if you're listening to the audio version of this book, which is fantastic, by the way, and really put it into practice. Put these things into practice. And what I loved about this book is that it makes you aware of what you might be doing wrong in terms of your interactions and how to correct that in such a way that you really do turn your adversaries into allies. So I give this book a 5-star review, not just because it comes from Bob, who has done phenomenal work in the past, but I personally think this is his best work to date. It truly is. You know, Go-Giver, Sell More, and Endless Referrals are phenomenal, but this is one that could be applied immediately in almost any type of situation, business or personal. If you're a parent like I am, then you want to perhaps read this and use some of these techniques and tactics that he teaches here with your kids, especially those of you who have teenagers. I only have a 1-year-old right now, so I have some time, but I will be using this as she gets older. So again, 5-star review for Adversaries into Allies. I think it's part of the trifecta of these books, Influence, Getting to Yes, and of course now Adversaries into Allies. They've made my top shelf. And I thank you, Bob, for writing this particular book. So again, I'm Tim Houston, author of World's Worst Networker, Leads to Referrals, and the Referral Rules, saying go out there, get your copy of Adversaries into Allies today.